Hi, everybody, and welcome to Project Real Love. I'm your host, Pink Girl Teaches, and I have to come on here and talk to you and see how you're doing and how you're keeping during these times. How are you feeling? I hope that you are all doing well and taking as care of yourself as best as you can. Now, on this channel, I do talk about overcoming or surviving narcissist abuse. And so we have to talk about surviving this insidious abuse during quarantine. Some of us, yes, we've gotten away from the narcissists that we were involved with, but not everybody has. And so we can't act like, oh, the no contact is going to work for you when you are in the house with a narcissist right now. You need something that's going to help you stay safe. And so this is what I want to talk to you about today. And I hope that we are able to, I'm able to get you information that can help you survive being quarantined because we don't know how long this is going to last, honestly. And, I believe the president issued an order through April 30th for stay at home, but some states are now talking about extending it into May. So, we don't know how long this is going to last. And so you have to be very wise about what you are choosing to do in this time in your home with the narcissist. Now, before I get into the meat of the discussion, which is going to be surviving narcissism or surviving quarantine with a narcissist, I want to talk to you real quickly about um, for those of you like myself who have escaped the narcissist, who are, who've been practicing no contact or who are trying to establish no contact, this is not the point where you start to give up or you start to give in or back down or lower your, or lessen your boundaries. No, this is the time for us to enforce those even more and to stand firm on our ground so that we can continue to enjoy the peace that we have been experiencing without them. Or if you haven't had the opportunity to enjoy that peace, now is the time because it's stressful. Let's not even lie to each other. These times are really stressful, and we want to do our best to maintain peace in ourselves, within us, so that we can manage what's going on in life. Like, I mean, like, we can't. I can't lie and say that I'm not concerned. I really am. You know, I've limited the amount of news that I'm watching, 30 minutes a day, and that's it. And I don't think that the media is sensationalizing it. I believe that, they are telling us what's going on, but it's just depressing, it's depressing. Who wants to turn on the numbers and, hear like, oh, a new total, or we are at a new high of deaths in one day. It's sad. And, those are people, they're not just numbers on our screens. Those are actual people who have families, who have children, spouses, loved ones, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And so many people are already beginning to experience heightened anxiety and wondering, is this coming for me? But, when you're now involving or you have a narcissist in the midst of all of this, it really can exaggerate or it can accentuate the anxiety that we're already experiencing. So if you are no contact, please stay no contact. Don't ever believe that the narcissist is going to take this as an opportunity to see who you are or to value you. I have notes because I have so many points that I want to make, and I do tend to just drift if I don't have something to pull me in. So I may look down. It's just because I want to share all of this good information that I have with you, okay? So bear with me, but they don't slow down. The narcissist won't slow down in the midst of a pandemic. Remember that narcissists love manufacturing drama. So outside, it's already chaotic and it's really dramatic out there. And so guess who's thriving? They are. They are enjoying the pandemic. They're creating more to their fantasy lives and the fantasy worlds. And so they are going to be reaching out to old sources of supply and those who maintain no contact. So now, if you break it now, you're more than likely going to get a fake apology from the narcissist. They're going to have these pathetic epiphanies about how about how this pandemic has caused them to see things in a new light and see how wrong they were to you and how all of that nonsense, it's just a ploy to get you back. You have got to stay no contact. Stay away from that manufactured drama that they love so much. And you know, you don't want to be manipulated by them, you don't want that to be added into the midst of all the all of everything that is going on around. So just beware that now is the time for them to give those random phone calls. They're going to be playing on your emotions, and you can either be driven by fear, or you can just walk in faith, that you're going to be okay. So don't allow this fear to control you, because when we do become fearful, it's easier for us to just fall back and start relying on the comfort or the reassurance that the narcissist will give you at this time, because they ultimately have a goal. Everything that the narcissist does, none of it has anything to do with you. They have an ulterior motive, and that is to derive narcissistic supply from you. So don't ever think for a moment that they've changed. I'm here to remind you, I'm here to announce to you, I'm here to drill it into you that no, they have not changed. Yeah, they're going to love bomb you. We know this. That's what they do, but you cannot fall victim for this. You cannot fall for this trap again, they just really don't have the capacity to communicate their needs, and that's why they manipulate everything. So remember, they're hoarders of people, so they are reaching into their narcissistic harem right now to pull back, and that's because they have an ulterior motive. So when you see that name flash, or the number that you should have been blocked a long time ago, now is the perfect time for you to go ahead and do that. Go ahead and block it, you know. And this video is for people who are actually full-fledged narcissists, those who are walking in the narcissist personality disorder, as well as those who have high narcissistic traits. You need to set a goal. That's what's going to keep you. That's what's going to keep you safe. You need to set a goal, and it's important for you to understand that you are dealing with somebody who lacks empathy and they don't understand reality. They struggle with object constancy, which is where they see everything as black or white. So they either like you or they hate you. And when they don't like you, they can't see that, you know what, I don't like her, but she has all these good qualities. Or I don't like him, but he still is a good person. Normal people are able to do that every day, but they cannot. And so, they lack object constancy. So just be mindful of that. One moment you're amazing, and the next you are absolutely trash. You are everything under the sun except a child of God. And so you just have to be mindful of that. So this is the time where they are going to definitely be projecting, they're going to be gaslighting, as well as triangulating you. And so you have to be smart. So what I'm going to talk to you today, or the main points that I really want to drill into you, or to share with you, okay, the tools that I want to give you, is to detach, disengage, and make decisions. The 3Ds: detach, disengage, and decisions. And we have to be honest with ourselves and realize how we ended up in this situation. Take accountability for your part. It's not easy. I did. And it's part of your journey, it's part of your process of self-discovery, and ultimately it's for your own good. Not everybody who deals with a narcissist is an empath. Some of us are codependents, and that's my truth, that's my reality, and I can't run away from it. But once you accept, how you ended up with them, or the role that you played. I touch my face too much, and so I've been wearing my glasses more, but I was trying not to for this video, but I see I'm going to be struggling with not touching my face, so I'll put them back on. But you've got to be sure that you understand your reality, and you work towards towards honoring that and accepting it, accepting our role, so that we can just stay focused, as well as begin to heal those parts of us, because you can be a codependent and heal. You can be a codependent and learn how to manage the areas that you struggle in, whether it's people pleasing or whatever. So you can. Now, being in a home with a narcissist can have you on the edge. It can feel like you're walking on eggshells, and it's especially important that you detach, so that you can stay grounded and not lose yourself. And also what it's going to do for you is it's going to eliminate pressure, um, especially if you have children in the house. As parents, as parents, we have a responsibility to make sure that our home is as safe and as calm and, as peaceful as possible for our children. And if you know that the narcissist loves to create drama, they thrive in these manufactured drama situations, you're going to have to really make that choice to make sure that your home is safe and as peaceful as possible for your children. There is no school right now. That means that the children are going to be exposed to this a lot more. And so your ultimate goal is to put your pride to the side. You don't have to have the last word. And in fact, when you do try to have the last word with the narcissist, if you're going to be honest with yourself, you will admit that, yeah, it's very difficult, because they will go toe to toe with you, and they will out argue you, they will out loudmouth you time and time again. You just can't win in a shouting match with a narcissist. You just can't. This is something that we know, so don't even try it. Disengage. When you disengage, what you're doing essentially is disarming them. And so a lot of what I'm going to talk about might have you feeling like, nah, I ain't feeling that. I ain't trying to do that, because it feels like you're playing into their needs. But again, go back to what your goal is. We're quarantine people. We can't leave the house. You can only leave the house for very few things. And if you are not an essential worker, that means that you're not going to work. You're in that house 24/7 with this person. How are you going to make your home safe? How are you going to make it less of a pressure cooker? How are you going to, make it as peaceful for you and your children? Like, we've got to look at the bigger picture. And so you may have to do things that normally, if it wasn't like this, I wouldn't tell you to do it. But we have to look at the bigger picture. Now, for some of you, you do know that the person that you live with has a tendency to be violent. And so you've got to take that into consideration too. You've got to try to find out, is there somewhere that you can go? Or is there somewhere safe for you to go with the children so that you're not, under threat of physical violence? And for those, and don't take it lightly, because it's simple things that can be a trigger to them. So if they are going to be violent, do your best to get out, because like I said, we don't know how long this is going to go. And sometimes you're not even aware what their stresses are and what makes them just go to the other extreme. So protect yourself. Please, please, please protect yourself. So, you know, one of the things about disengaging them right now, why it's so important, is because you really do have a choice. And like I say, you have a decision to make. You can either add to the chaos that they're throwing into the home, or you can neutralize it. And this is simply, that you recognize what they're doing, because you know their games, you know their tactics. Just don't feed into it. The narcissists are always going to be looking for an external reaction, whether it's negative or positive. And if you are neutral, you disarmed them. You didn't feed into them at all. It's like that the gray rocking them. You're just neutral. Like, you are not feeding into it. You're not showing any emotion. You are yes, no, and dealing with the matter at hand. So, don't call them out. Don't put them in a position, or don't try to poke a sleeping bear right now. But just disengage as much as you can. Again, you may feel like your anger or whatever is bubbling on the inside. Calm down, take deep breaths, and think about your ultimate goal. Your goal is to survive this quarantine, and be as healthy as possible for you and those that live with you. So that means you have decisions to make. Be careful with your words. Don't, in a fit of anger, call them a narcissist, because they don't believe that they are. And that's not going to add to the peace in your home. It's going to make things a little, it's going to make the tension thick, and it's going to make it uncomfortable. So that their realities, that they're not wrong, so you may have to make play up, you may have to play with your words a bit to get your point across, because if you just straight out, you're lying, you're a narcissist, you are mental, you're a psychopath, you're going to you're stirring the pot, and it's going to bubble over, and you will not be, you don't want to be in that screaming match with them. You don't want to. So where you can, go to a separate room, journal, and make sure you have a support system in place, because that's going to be so important. Sometimes you may have to be kind of, be smart. Okay, be smart with how you're asking for things, especially, like, let's say it's time to watch TV, and they've been watching TV all day, and it's been their shows for the longest time. Tell them that you enjoy what they watch. You enjoy watching their shows, and that they do pick good things. But make us, you've complimented them, you've given them, you've stroked that ego, and then now make a suggestion like, oh, I heard such and such was good. Maybe we should watch it sometime. What do you think? Because you always know the good movies, that type of thing. No, it's not manipulating them. You are trying to be wise to get you what you need out of this situation, because this is not normal. This is not normal circumstances. We are living in uncharted territory. Whenever have you been quarantined before? Whenever have you been in the house straight for 2 weeks? Can't go anywhere. Children are being homeschooled. Like, just be smart, or, just be a step ahead of them. So remember that if they feel attacked, or if you feel attacked, and that they don't leave you alone, use your awareness of who they are to your advantage. Sometimes, that when they follow you around the house, and they just doing the most to start an argument, diffuse the situation, disengage them, disarm them. I understand why you feel like that. Sometimes that's all it is. That's all it takes. Because if they're trying to get a reaction out of you, like, you know what, you eating too much, you're getting fat. Yeah, you know what, these pants do feel a little. You're right. I could do a little more to lose weight. Yeah, they just hurt your feelings, yes, calling you fat. But 9 out of 10, it's not the first time that they've done this. But you know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get a reaction out of you. But when you agree with them like that, where are they going? They can't take that argument anywhere. You've agreed. You've diffused the situation. You are not Nobody's arguing, and you can maintain a level of peace in the home that the children can enjoy, and that you can enjoy. Just remind yourself that you are not who they are, because they're simply projecting onto you. They're projecting how they're feeling onto you, so you cannot forget that, and you've got to stay on top of it. Just recognize what they are trying to do and disarm them. You can do it. Like, really, you can do it. People are doing it, and it is working for them. Remember, the goal is for you to stay healthy. The goal for you is to not be harmed, is for your children to enjoy peace in the home during this period. So don't get into a screaming match. Don't give into them. If it means that you have to throw a compliment, then go ahead and throw a compliment, because that's going to be like anesthesia to them. That's what they want. So do what you have to do so that you can survive this thing. It's important, like I say, that you have a support system that will be there for you emotionally to help you figure out. So, you need to figure out what opportunities you have so that you can get that emotional support, because guess who is not giving you any emotional support? That's right, the narcissist. They are not going to be giving you any kind of emotional support. So don't you go about trying to poke that sleeping bear, because they're not, they're not meeting your emotional needs. They can't. They can't. They don't see things the way that you and I do. So think twice before you speak or you act out. And don't, like I was saying earlier, don't bring up their flaws or past things. You want to create an environment of peace, and that's going to take tremendous amounts of self-control, self-awareness, and discipline. And it's also going to require you to be very grounded in knowing who you are in this moment, or who you need to show up as, so that you can make it through this thing. You don't want to breed chaos in your home. So another thing that's going to be important for you to do is to practice great self-care. And that's going to involve, whether you go outside to take a walk, get some fresh air, opening windows if you can't go outside, or just eating well, taking your vitamins, and make sure they do the same thing, because that's going to make them feel like you are actually trying to meet their needs, and they didn't have to push it out of you. Because again, remember the 4 A's: attention, admiration, affection, and adoration. That's what the narcissist wants from you. So be very mindful about that and be sure to give them that. Give it to them so you can maintain that peace. So get a step ahead of them. Oh, did you take your vitamins today? Did you take your supplements? Oh, have you been drinking enough water? You know you need to drink water so you can stay hydrated. Why don't you go outside and take a walk, get some sunlight, some vitamin D to help yourself, simple things like that. They really don't cost you anything. And I know it can be, I know, trust me, I know when you are sick and tired of them and you're sick and tired of the situation, it's hard to do these things, but trust me, they work. They really do work. And if when you feel like you don't want to do these things, think about your ultimate goal. Think about those children. Think about the other people in your house, even if they're not your children, but think about the peace that you're creating. So you may have to agree with them. Like I say, like I gave you that example, like about, them calling you fat. You may, but you diffuse the situation before it could go anywhere. So, another important thing, or another thing that you can do, is create routines. So that's like, have a morning, noon, and night routine. And this is going to bring some type of order or some structure into your day. And it's going to help take your mind, it's going to help your mental space. So create a routine, whether you decide to read your Bible, whether you're going to have a specific prayer time, whether you're going to have Bible study as a family, or, you know, if you decide to take longer baths, and have candles and music, just create a schedule that is able to cater to your needs. And you may be just spending time calling your friends, say, I'm going to spend an hour emailing or inboxing, DMing my friends to check on them, see how they are, because we need each other in these moments. And this isolation is affecting people. So check in on the ones that you don't see posting anymore, that aren't texting you, that aren't calling you. Ask them, hey, how are you? How is all of this going for you? Can I do anything for you? Even if the only thing that you can do is pray, you know sometimes you're in a better financial position, that they may be okay with you ordering something off DoorDash for them, something like that. That's also going to help you, because you're ultimately helping somebody else. And so it takes your mind off where you currently are and what you are faced with and what you're dealing. So you know that's another part of what can be your self-care, as well as take naps when you can, and encourage that narcissist to take a nap. Like, boo, go to bed. Just don't say it like that though, but encourage them to take a nap so that you can also get some free time, okay? You got to do what you have to do. Make family time interesting. We play board games, we play cards, and it's about keeping yourself busy. Another thing that you can do to maintain a sense of calmness is to pick up a hobby. So I like powerlifting, and it's been crazy. It's been difficult not being able to go to the gym. And you get so used to, like, listen, I was so used to our routine: Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, and then Fridays of just powerlifting. And you it was therapy for me. Like, I knew, like, I'm gonna get in there, I'm gonna touch that iron, I'm gonna push those weights, I'm gonna do whatever, and I'm gonna feel better. But I don't we can't go to the gym, we can't go to the gym. And so it's kind of like, wow, there's a different feeling, and I listen, I miss it so much. And so what we've started doing, because even if I was like to work out and do body weights and calisthenics and jogging and those type of things, I still don't feel like I got my fix. And I just miss the weights. So we started trying to, started finding weights online, and buying them so that we can put together a home gym and bring back some normal, something normal in our life, or in my life. And so you may have to do the same thing with the things that you need, that you've been accustomed to, but you can't do it anymore. So it's about just finding new creative ways. And also pick up a hobby. one thing that I do speak languages, and so one of my goals when I first started having children was to teach them the languages that I know, but it didn't quite work out like that. But now I'm sitting down my babies 16 and 13, and I'm teaching them German. They're learning, and they it's interesting. I wish I would have just stuck to my guns in the beginning when they were younger, because it would be easier and they would be more advanced now. But now is a perfect time because we do have time. A lot of times we've been wanting time to do stuff. And so use this time, fill up your day with a new hobby, or if you're going to be journaling or just documenting what's happening, because guess what? We're in a new place in history. This has never happened, that COVID-19. Yes, other things have happened, but it was not COVID-19. So you can actually be making documentations, whether you decide to do it by video or by journaling. Do something that's going to take your mind off of the narcissist, and maybe encourage them to do that, because you could listen. Part of narcissism is that inflated sense of self. And so they feel like they're important. So listen, you know what? You're so smart. Maybe you should do a journal, or maybe you should blog or vlog about what's going on, and that may keep them busy. Your ultimate goal doesn't change. Your ultimate goal is to maintain peace in your home. And sometimes that's through separation, because it's a lot of togetherness, right? So if they're focused on something else, that gives you time to, that diffuses situations. It keeps them busy. Again, they get bored. Sometimes you might just have to knowingly sit back, knowing that they're on that computer, talking to old sources of supply. They may be on dating apps now, looking for new sources of supply. They may be doing it in your face. This is where you need to disengage. Remember your ultimate goal. Now is not the time for you to try and feed your ego. Now is not the time for you to, be pissed off. Even though, yeah, you should be pissed off. Like, listen, how are you going to disrespect me like this? But where are you going? When this argument blows up, where are you going? You got to check your ego, and you've got to remember your ultimate goal. This video is to survive. Um, this period of quarantine. So disengage. And that's where, like, if they are surfing those apps, then detach, emotionally detach. Remind yourself of who this person is. Because trust me, and you know this, that they weren't surfing those apps suddenly because there's COVID-19. No, they've been doing this. So be careful, don't fight them on this. Just okay, go focus on your goal. Go focus on you, whether you're going to take some time to rediscover yourself, or you're going to dive into a new hobby, or you're going to spend time with the children, or you're going to journal, or whatever it is that you're going to do. One thing that this virus has done for me is it set things in perspective. It's showing me my own fears and my own vulnerabilities. And um, you can either choose to let it take you out, or you can just choose to write it out. And I'm choosing to write it out. I'm choosing to put my faith into action. I'm choosing to believe that, there's a reason. And, we may not understand it. But a lot of the times when we are faced with pain, and there's a lot of pain going on in the world, like, it's unbelievable how many lives have been lost and how many lives are forever affected by this. I mean, total communities are changing. And what's so painful is to see, especially our younger people, having parties and living their best life. And and we know that this virus spreads, and though it loves to breed in close proximity, and they're throwing up. Like, I was watching this video of these kids in South Africa, like, they're about between, like, maybe 15 and 20, in the thousands, having a party. And I was just like, wow, this thing is starting to spread there, and they're doing this. And you don't want to see the bad happen, but you can't, you can't ignore what you see. And so we're seeing mankind and humanity change right before our eyes. And so there's a lot of pain that's involved. It's painful to see that people can, disregard the lives of other people that they may come in contact with and spread the virus. It's painful to see that they are so aloof that it flies over their heads and they think that they're immune to this and it doesn't affect them, when we know this thing is not a respecter of person. It's coming for the affluent, it's coming, it doesn't care your social economic status, it does not care your race, your gender, your preferences, your religion. It doesn't care. Like, it is just out there doing what it does. And so, you know it's causing a lot of pain. But out of great pain, when you choose to make the right decisions that honor you, out of great pain can come change. And so it may be difficult and it may be a tough pill to swallow with what's happening in your home, and you having to set your preferences or your ego or your voice aside so that you can make it through this. But use your time productively to honor and to begin to heal the parts of you that have allowed things to get to where they are. It's important that we do accept our role, our responsibility, in be honest with yourself, because the sooner you get honest and you become honest, the sooner that you can ultimately begin the process of healing. And then once you're healed, you can walk away from this situation, you can walk away from these situations. Or if you are not, like if you're married and you don't want to get divorced, you can better manage your life in that situation. It's ultimately about doing what's right for you. What's right for you may not look right for me. And so it's important that you have that time to figure that out. I hope that you all stay well. Is my biggest prayer that you do stay well, and that if you are affected by it personally, whether you face the sickness by yourself, or somebody that you know and that you love is touched by it, because we are all going to be touched by it. We are all touched by it because communities are changing, and people are out of work, and so much is going on. So yeah, it may be directly or indirectly, but we are all affected by it. But don't forget yourself in this process. Don't forget who you are. Continue to choose you. You don't have to remain a victim of the narcissist. You can choose to use your time wisely, use your words wisely. Remember, it's all about detaching, disengaging, and decisions. Set out your goals and honor those goals by practicing those three things. I want to thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Project Real Love Show. Again, if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and hit subscribe, and click on the notification button, and share this with somebody that you feel that it could help. You're not in this by yourself. If you do need coaching, my email is going to be down below, and you can hit me up and we can figure something out and we can begin to work. If we, whether you want individual coaching or you want to jump in on a group coaching session, like, there are ways to heal. And so that's what this is about. So I want to thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time, and I hope that you stay safe and just take care, okay? Have a good day.